Hey everyone, my name is Glen Kelly and I'll be presenting today on the LGFA Research Pod with our research titled An Investigation into the Characteristics of Successful Performances in Ladies Gaelic Football. So firstly, just a bit about ourselves. So my name is Glen Kelly, I'm a postgraduate research student at the Technological University Dublin, Blanchardstown Campus. And I'll be working in collaboration with the Gaelic Sports Research Centre, based in the Technological University Dublin Tala Campus and led by Dr. Kieran Collins. I will be working alongside Orna McKenna from IT Carlow and will be supervised by Denise Martin from the Technological University Dublin, Blanchardstown Campus. So our research is on Ladies Gaelic Football. And on the left here we have some figures to show you how big that sport is. And on the right we have some figures from women's soccer for context. As you see here down at the bottom, there's been 30 plus research papers published on the game demands in women's soccer. This provides coaches and players with a thorough understanding of their game and what it takes to win. However, we have no research in Ladies Gaelic Football on its game demands, so we have no evidence on what the team needs to do to win. So what do I mean by game demands? So the game demands basically are, how many scores do we need to win this game? How many kickouts are in that game? How many shots? Where are we shooting from? But we just don't have this information yet. This will lead us on to our research questions. Our first research question is, what are the characteristics of a ladies' football performance? So how many shots do they take? Where are they shooting from? How many kickouts and how many turnovers are in that game? We just don't have this information yet. Once we establish this, we'll progress on to, what does it take to win? So what do winners do differently to losers? This will allow us to set targets. And finally, with more and more research evolving from the men's game, we want to evaluate the transferability of that data to see if the women's game can use the data published from the men's game. So how are we going to do this? So firstly, we're going to watch them matches, we're going to record the actions and their outcomes. This is known as systematic observations. And to allow for this to happen, we need to define everything that we count. So we've done this by convening a focus group to act as an expert panel of coaches, which gave us a set of operational definitions. And to ensure that our counting was accurate, we conducted a reliability assessment. So a reliability assessment basically allows us to test how accurate our observations were, and to ensure that our findings are valid and reliable. So for the forthcoming few minutes of this presentation, I'll be presenting the findings from the 2020 TG Catter Senior Inter-County Championship. So the first question we have is, how productive were teams with possession in 2020? So I have it here. So this is an average performance. So what we found is that in an average performance, Ladies Gaelic footballers have 47 possessions. They are converting those into 33 attacks. And for them 33 attacks, they're converting those into 26 shots, and for them shots into 14 scores. And this looks like 212 on the scoreboard. And what we have here is some metrics from the winning performances and the losing performances. So what we can see is that winners have more possessions, attacks, shots and scores than the losers. And they're trumping them on the scoreboard. An average performance is saying winners scoring 314, whereas losers are scoring 111. However, what we found interesting is here in yellow, is that winning performances, they're converting 73% of their possessions into attacks, whereas losers are only converting 64% into attacks. This poses the question, is it the build-up in play that losers are falling behind? And in performance analysis we use a metric called productivity. Productivity is how many scores a team gets per 10 possessions. So as you can see here, for a winning performance, for every 10 possessions, winners are getting 3.46 scores, whereas losers are getting 2.73, and the average performance is seeing 3.10 scores per 10 possessions. So what was the shot efficiency like from play in 2020? So an average performance is seeing 20 shots from play, and 10 of them being scores, with a shot efficiency rate of 50%. And here we have some data from winning and losing performances. So what we see here is that winners are taking more shots and they're scoring more. So winning performance has around 24 shots from play, whereas losers have 18 shots from play. From them shots, winning performances are scoring 13 times, whereas losers are only scoring 8 times. And this is where the shots are coming from. So as you can see here on the left, we have all the 296 scores from play in 2020. And here on the right, we have all 606 shots from play in 2020. So what was the shot efficiency from place ball in 2020? So firstly, we defined the place ball as a shot from a free, a 45, or a penalty. And this is pretty consistent across the board. So we're seeing that an average performance winning and for losing, they're converting 70% of their place balls. So an average performance is seeing 6 shots from place ball and they're converting 4 of them. So for every 6 place ball shots they have, they're scoring 4 scores. And here on our shot map down the bottom, we show all 181 shots from place balls with 126 scores. So what was the fouling like in 2020? So we found an average performance for our team gives us 21 fouls per team. So there's no large difference. If you look here, just an average performance has 21 fouls, a winning 22, and a losing has 20. So there's not much of a large difference between the amount of fouls per game. However, if you look here on the right hand side, it's where these fouls are occurring. Okay, so an average performance sees almost 9 out of them 21 fouls are happening in a scoreable position. So the scoreable position is inside your own 45 here in red. So defending teams are fouling more frequently with inside their own 45 in that defensive zone. And just to remind you that 70% of shots from place balls are scored, which our data suggests that all fouls are costing, the fouls are costing you on the scoreboard. So how often are teams turned over in 2020? So as you see here, an average performance sees a team having 47 possessions, and they're being turned over 26 times. This has given us a turnover rate of 55%. A winning performance is seeing a team have 49 possessions, 24 turnovers with a turnover rate of 49%. And a losing performance is giving us 45 possessions, 27 turnovers with a turnover rate of 60%. And if we look here at these turnovers where they're occurring, we see that 62% of the turnovers occur when a team is attacking. So on average, 16 turnovers per game happen on your attacking third, 7 turnovers happen in the midfield, which is 26%, and 3 of those turnovers are occurring inside your defensive third, which is 12%. So what are teams doing with their kickouts in 2020? So as we see here, an average performance, a team has 20 kickouts in the game. They're winning 14 of those kickouts with an own kick-out won percentage of 73%. And here we have some metrics for the winning teams and the losing teams. So what we find interesting, that winners are only losing 4 of their own kickouts per game, whereas losers are losing 7 of their own kickouts. And here on the left hand side, we have a shot map, we have a kick-out map to where all them kickouts are going. Okay, so what's next? So I aim to analyse all the senior games from 2017 all the way up to 2021. And Orla McKenna from IT Carlow will be analysing the differences amongst the grades from 2020. And to allow this to happen, basically guys, we need the game footage. So we have a lot of that footage, however there is still some gaps between 2017, 2018 and 2019. Therefore, we're basically appealing to you, all the coaches and all the analysts who are watching this video today on the LGFA Research Pod, to contact us if you are willing to share some of that footage. This will allow us to deliver a comprehensive understanding over ladies Gaelic football performance and what it takes to win. And finally guys, thank you very much for your time and your attention. I hope some of the data which we presented today is some use to your team and to your own performance. And if you just get in contact with me, you'll find me on Twitter at @sportanalysisgk. And if you have any questions, any queries, anything at all about the research, please just drop me an email. Thank you very much for having me.